Did you know that fasting is a powerful way to deepen your connection with God? For Christians, fasting serves as a means to spiritually level up. It involves denying bodily desires to focus more on spiritual growth. When you fast, you replace eating with devoted prayer, seeking God's guidance and intervention, which can lead to a stronger spiritual presence. If you have never fasted before, the thought of going without food for any length of time is probably frightening. In today's video, we're going to explore everything you need to know about fasting, including a 7-step guide to help you navigate this challenging yet rewarding practice. First and foremost, fasting can be physically unsafe for certain individuals, so it's important to consult with your doctor if you plan to fast for extended periods, especially if you have existing health conditions. With that in mind, let's get started. Fasting involves voluntarily abstaining from food for a set period of time. This practice is often embraced as a means to purify both the body and the spirit, facilitating a deeper connection with the divine. This act of self-denial is seen not just as a sacrifice, but as a powerful tool to enhance one's spiritual well-being and resilience. The heart of fasting can be summed up in this sentence: we fast so that we can draw nearer to God. You can fast if you have to make an important decision or have something important that you need to pray for, or if you want to grow in spiritual discipline. Fasting is a biblical discipline that can help anyone improve their spiritual fitness and become a prayer warrior for God. Contrary to the belief held by some that Christians need not engage in discipline, it is through spiritual exercises like fasting that we build our spiritual strength. We must remember that we are Christ's soldiers, and a proficient soldier is well trained in various disciplines. Fasting stands as one crucial discipline among many in the Christian faith, helping to fortify our spiritual resolve and readiness. You can fast for a single meal, a full 24-hour period, or even longer. If this is your first time fasting, start small. Remember that you are embarking on a new journey, and it's important to proceed with caution as you learn how to manage the physical and spiritual aspects of fasting. God will honor your initial step of faith, which may seem small to others but monumental to you. Your heart's response and your attitude during the fast are critical. As you begin fasting, don't focus too much on the duration of the fast. Instead, ensure that your relationship with God is strong and sincere. God is omniscient. He understands and values the sincerity of your prayers more than their length. Therefore, if you've never fasted before, I recommend starting with skipping just one meal to gently introduce yourself to fasting. The connection between fasting and prayer is repeatedly emphasized in the Scriptures. When they had appointed elders in every church and prayed with fasting, they commended them to the Lord in whom they had believed. Do not deprive one another except with consent for a time, that you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer. These passages highlight that fasting is not merely about abstaining from food. It's also about using the opportunity to draw closer to God. When you fast, replace the time you would normally spend on meals, thinking about food, acquiring it, preparing it, eating it, and cleaning up afterwards with prayer and engagement with God's Word. Use the freed up time to deepen your spiritual practices. Pray, meditate, read the Bible, seek God's will, and listen for His voice. As you feel the pangs of hunger, let them remind you to turn to God and enhance your private prayer life. This approach helps integrate fasting into a comprehensive spiritual discipline, fostering a closer relationship with God. Fasting, like climbing a mountain, is both spiritually and physically demanding. Approach this endeavor with a clear understanding of your goals and the recognition that, although the journey may be challenging, the benefits will be well worth it. Begin by clearly defining your purpose for fasting. Write down your reasons and the duration of your fast on paper. Seeing it in front of you helps to clarify and solidify your intentions. When goals are only in your mind, they can become unclear or easily forgotten, so documenting them sharpens your focus. Plan everything and don't enter your fast casually or with a hit or miss attitude. Plan to succeed. Engage in fasting with a firm commitment, not just to test your limits, but with a dedicated intention to seek God's guidance for your specified reasons. By moving beyond mere contemplation and actively committing to fasting, you are relying on God's grace and assistance to sustain you through this spiritual discipline. Fasting is a private act between you and God. Concerns about how others might perceive your fasting should not influence your decision. Remember, fasting is not about impressing others. It's a personal spiritual discipline. As Jesus teaches, when you fast, do not look somber as the hypocrites do, for they disfigure their faces to show others they are fasting. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face, so that it will not be obvious to others that you are fasting, but only to your Father who is unseen. And your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. This passage emphasizes the importance of keeping your fasting private as a sacred act between you and God. If you decide to fast, keep it to yourself and make your time of fasting a special, intimate experience with God. Fasting is about deepening your personal connection with God, not about public display or approval. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, afterward he was hungry. Now when the tempter came to him, he said, "If you are the Son of God, command that these stones become bread." In this passage, we see that even Jesus, after a prolonged fast, felt physical hunger and faced temptation. When you decide to fast, prepare for it to be challenging. You will feel hungry and your body and mind may devise various excuses or justifications to persuade you to eat and end the fast prematurely. Here's a tip. When the hunger feels unbearable, drink a large cup of water, pray, and seek God's strength. Remember, the purpose of fasting is to die to oneself, drawing closer to God and growing spiritually. It's normal to feel discomfort, but the spiritual benefits are worthwhile. Also, if you have never walked this path before, you may want to start your fasting journey with someone else. Invite someone else to pray and fast with you. Sharing the fasting experience can enhance your focus and provide mutual support. You can discuss any doubts, questions, or fears and encourage each other to persevere. Just as exercising with a friend can help you stay committed during challenging times, fasting together can strengthen your resolve and reduce the temptation to break the fast. Having someone to share the journey with can make a significant difference in maintaining your commitment when things get tough. So, my dear friend, remember that fasting is a leap of faith. It's a powerful way to draw closer to God and can elevate your spiritual journey. Keep in mind that God sees the intentions of your heart and will reward you accordingly. If you found this content helpful, I ask for your support with your subscription so that you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Together, we can enlighten more minds and expand our understanding. Thank you for being here, and may God bless you.